Welcome back to Living Ardently. I'm your host, Adrian Giralde, and it has been so long since I've gotten to say that, and I truly miss it. So, yes, it's been quite some time. The last episode that I dropped was in April, and it was about spring. Spring had just sprung, but now summer is almost over, and we're about to get into the fall months. It was a great hiatus. It was a very busy time. We had vacation. I started a tech channel with my best friend Arnell. As some of you know, it's called Ardently Tech. It started as an Instagram account. Then I decided that I wanted to turn it into a YouTube channel, and I partnered with my best friend Arnell, and now we're doing it full time. I think I talked about it maybe in the last episode. So if you listen to that, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it has been a long time since I've talked to this audience and talked to this microphone, honestly. So it's been really great, really busy, but unfortunately, that means that Living Ardently has taken a bit of a lesser role of importance and priority. But I still love it, and it's still such a passion project of mine that I will not ever let it go. So I'm going to try to be consistent in doing once a month podcast. I have another podcast with me and Sarah doing an anniversary podcast that I have to edit and put together. But this one has been in like the works. I think it's been recorded since either March or May. I don't remember when, but it was recorded, and I recorded it with this camera that I got, and it was such a great time talking with William Humbles. But again, it was just such a big file. It was over 2.5, I think it was like 2.5 hours long of footage and audio, and it was just like really large files. So trying to get it all together and edited did take some time, but we got it done, and it's here, and it's such a great story. So as of right now, I'm just before we get into introducing today's episode, I just want to say, like, look, it's been a long time, and I cannot promise that I will be consistent once a month, but I'm going to try my best to be. Like, since 2021, our podcast has fallen out of the consistency that I would love it to be, but it is what it is. I do really appreciate you guys' continuous support to our podcast, to our Instagram account. I hope that we can continue to be friends and continue the conversation there. So make sure to, if you're not already following us on Instagram, follow us on Living Ardently. I think it's just Living Ardently. I think it is. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. That being said, this podcast is actually going to be the exception to the rule. So if you're listening to the podcast, go to our YouTube channel, Living Ardently Podcast on YouTube, and watch this podcast, because it is quite different from our other podcasts that we've done before, where before I've been doing podcasts where they're in person. The only times I've been in person, it's like in my room, in my controlled environment, podcasting in a pseudo studio, a room turned into a studio. And the other times, it's just been on Zoom. So this is the first time where we've gone out of location and recorded in a place while doing an activity. Pretty interesting. What I mean by that, William Humbles is our guest today, and he shares his story about how he went from being in prison for so many years to becoming a barber and having his own shop within, I think, a month, maybe less time. He turned his life around after he got out of prison, and has an incredible story and what happened in between. So I got an opportunity to get a haircut from him while we did this interview, and this is pretty cool. I've never done something like this before. You're going to hear all the equipment, so bear with us. It is a lot easier if you listen to the podcast in 2x speed. You kind of start to ignore the clippers, and it's only about half of the haircut that you hear the clippers, because then you end up hearing scissors and shears as they're called. And yeah, but it's a really fun episode because it's something I've wanted to do more on location podcasting, but I haven't been able to do it until now. So this is a really unique opportunity and a really beautiful story. So if you are listening to podcasts, you can listen, but I would highly recommend watching the podcast too. You get to see my shaggy head get turned into a nice haircut. This is not the haircut for those of you watching. This is I cut my hair myself now. I mean, I just haven't had time. I don't have the resources to be able to go get a haircut all the time. So you just gotta learn how to cut your hair sometimes, and save the professional haircuts for special occasions. So, Will, if you're listening, don't worry, I'm coming back. I just Gotta save some money for now. Anyway, y'all, this is a longer podcast, so feel free to listen in pieces or however you like to speed up a podcast or whatever. If you want to take it in chunks, however you want to listen to it, please listen to this story. It is a beautiful one, inspiring, and such a great redemptive story, one that will maybe even inspire you. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm not sure if I used to say this all the time, but I think I did. Let's get into it. So today I'm getting my hair is getting cut by somebody I met, like I said, through Ben. His name is William Humboldt.
Humboldt, yeah.
Humboldt with an S.
With an S, yeah.
And he's the owner of this 1-2 Barbershop here in South Bend. And he has a incredible story, so really excited to talk to you today. And get a haircut at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of my first time doing something like this, where I'm like interviewing somebody.
And getting service.
And getting the cut, you know.
Yeah.
We got in touch through Ben, who was doing an interview with you. I work with Ben at our network. And he said he was doing this cool story at the barbershop. I'm like, oh, I'm still looking for a good barbershop around here. So I was like, let me tag along and see what the story's about. And, the 1 hour I was here, it was really great to just get to connect with you.
I liked it.
Yeah. So tell me about you. You say you grew up in Chicago. Is that?
Yeah. Well, my great grandmother had a house here.
Yeah.
And my mother came to visit her one day when she was pregnant with me. And she had the baby she had me while she was here. I said the baby, like I'm in the third person or something. I was like calling myself the baby, Get some type of beef with everybody.
Yeah.
They got that name. No,
the baby.
So she had me while she was visiting my great grandmother.
Yeah.
But once she left the hospital with me, we went straight back to Chicago. And I stayed there until I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And then my great grandmother died and left the house to my grandmother. Well, my grandmother had a nice apartment. So
that's out
we
here?
stayed in the projects. We stayed in the Robert Taylor homes in Chicago. It was really bad. They're not even there no more. They tore them down.
Oh, really? Okay.
But my grandmother wanted us to get out them projects, so she gave my mother the house in South Bend. So we moved to South Bend.
Okay.
And then I got here and went to Eggleston, and then to Dickerson, and then to LaSalle before it turned into a parochial.
Okay.
It was the high school. And
yeah.
I went there for a little bit. And
was there much of South Bend around at that time? I feel like South Bend was still it's still a developing city. I mean, it's old, but at the same time, it's like.
Well, it's like it or not, it's not that high tech right now. It's still like an old little town. Right?
Yeah, it is.
It has more people from bigger cities here now.
Yeah.
And there's an expansion going on towards the east, like Howard Park and Notre Dame and all that's expanding. But it looks the same. It just you see different stores and. Some buildings are gone now.
Yeah.
Population seems like it fluctuates. It goes up, goes back down, goes up, goes down.
Yeah.
But it stays around 100,000 people. But when I got here, it was more. I said we was like the third or fourth black family in our neighborhood on the north side. Yeah, there wasn't that many blacks here. Yeah. On my side of town. Now they said it was over on the west side over here. But on the north side of town, there wasn't really that many black people.
Yeah.
So, we were rugrats. We came from the projects. We came down here, and even though we left that environment, I think we put some of them habits inside of our suitcases and brought it with us.
Sure, yeah.
And so we came down here on that type of stuff. And
so was it just you? Did you have siblings?
No, I got 2 blood brothers and one blood sister, meaning that we have the same mother. And then I have a cousin that's my sister that was adopted by my mother. First cousin, she's my sister though.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with you, bro? And she's adopted by my mother. And then I have a brother that is no blood relation to me, but we basically adopted him, and so we're like brothers.
Yeah.
So in total, I got 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
Nice. So y'all came into the South Bend together.
Well, everybody except for my adopted brother came at the same time.
Okay.
And it was kind of funny because where we stayed at, it wasn't no white people. There's all black. You might have seen an albino or something, but that's about it. So now, because I had an ear infection when I was younger, I had to get taken to Cook County Hospital downtown. But besides that one occasion, I never left my area. In the Robert Taylor area, they had super blocks.
Okay.
Like 3 blocks in one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they had like, let's say about 10 to 11 buildings on each super block. Now on these super blocks, they had a laundromat, a grocery store, a restaurant, a liquor store, a currency exchange,
wow,
a playground, a school, a elementary school, and a high school.
Wow.
Basically, stay on this block. You don't go nowhere else. You just stay right there, right?
Yeah.
So unless something happened to you, like an ear infection or something like that, you didn't leave that area. You stayed right there.
Right.
So I had the fortune to go downtown and see different people. We never had a color TV. We always had black and white. So when we moved to South Bend, this was the first time we was around people that was not like us.
Right.
Well, my mother took us straight from the projects. Instead of going to the house, she went straight to the school to enroll us.
Okay.
So we're at Eggleston. And there was this teacher named the principal named Miss Higgins.
Yeah.
Now, my sister never saw a white person before in her life.
Really?
So my mother and Miss Higgins are talking, and my sister just tugging at my mom. And my mom finally said, what's wrong with you? She said, no, Mama, what's wrong with her face? I just started cracking up. Because I got the opportunity to see him before. It was a culture shock to me, too.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was funny because, I experienced them and she hadn't. But, that's how it was. And so we had to adapt to being around people that were kind of affluent because in that neighborhood wasn't really poor.
Right.
And that was a little bit of adjustment. And plus, we still had that mindset that we had to survive by any means.
Sure.
So we would go inside the grocery store and just take advantage of their naivety.
Yeah.
We'd go in there and steal stuff. See, in Chicago, it was Middle Easterners had them stores, and they were kind of familiar with ways, right? So they couldn't shoplift there.
Yeah, they know look out for it.
So what you had to do was you had to go in the store, open up what you wanted to eat, and eat it while you're walking down the aisles. That way you got full. For real, that's dead serious. So when we got here, these people, it was like the people here, they wasn't expecting, the type of I don't even know if this is the word, shopliftery that we had in us. So we would go in there, we'll fake like we're fighting. They'll come break it up and somebody will just be right out the back door and all type of stuff. Or we'll ask for a magazine that's on the ground, and when they reach over there, we're grabbing packs of cigarettes. We don't even smoke. We like, 9, 10 years. just taking stuff. My sister, she was so cold with her stuff. We had our backyard had a basketball rim, and we played basketball. And every day, she would come in the back and watch us for about 10, 15 minutes. And then she would up and find like $15, $20, $25 every day. So You know, my brothers, we all walk around looking in the backyard trying to find this mystery money, right?
Yeah.
Why is she finding this money every day and we don't never see it, right?
She got some sort of magnet.
Well, come to find out, she was bullying the kids at school.
Oh, really?
And she couldn't come home and just say that the kids at school gave her money, so she would go in the backyard and find it. You know? But she got us for like about 2 months. We would just, we couldn't figure out how she come back there every day and find money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how we were. We didn't leave that mindset there. And my mom was trying to get us out of that stuff, but we were so, I guess, assimilated to that type of lifestyle. Yeah, we still did it. You know?
Oh, was your mom like aware of what you guys were doing? Was she trying to?
No, she
y'all hid it from her?
We kind of hid it from her, but as time went on, as we got older, we just got more, I'll say, enamored to it or hardened.
Yeah.
Where we didn't really try to hide it anymore.
Right.
Or it was impossible to hide. So it was like right there readily for her to see. The people that we were hanging around. You know, I still kept up my grades. I was always good in school. But you start hanging around certain people, and next thing you know, I'm getting ear piercing. Man, I got my ear pierced. This is the funniest story in life. I got my ear pierced, right? One of my ears.
Yeah.
And my mother, she didn't believe in me and getting the ear pierced. So I come in with this piercing, and she says, "Oh, you want to be a girl?" She used more
colorful language.
Well, more colorful language, but she said, "Oh, you want to be a girl, huh? Okay, well, you wearing a dress to school tomorrow, so she want to wear that earring." So I'm going to LaSalle High School.
Yeah.
And so I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yeah, you want to be one? You're wearing that earring. You're wearing that dress." So the next morning I get up a little bit earlier than I usually do.
Yeah.
And I go in the living room, and there it is, right there on the couch, this leopard dress, just laying. So I look at the dress, right, and I'm like, man, she crazy. So I'm looking for her, I can't find her. She's outside talking to the next door neighbor. So I sneak out the back door, run to school. I get to school, we go in the back, we start shooting dice and playing games like we usually do. And somebody came and said, "Hey, Will, your mom in the front with a dress hanging out the door, out the car door." So I go out there, she's sitting there, and she got this. She has a orange Thunderbird, Ford Thunderbird. Oh, wow. And she got her arm out the car, and the dress is just hanging over her arm. I just walked over to her, took the earring. Lesson learned, you know. Lesson learned. But stuff like that. So earrings and getting tattoos and sneaking out, breaking curfew and all that stuff. She started realizing that we were, we weren't doing what she was expecting us to do.
Right. So at some point, things started to just kind of ramp up, I guess, as you got older.
Well, yeah, as I got older, I used to. I was like I said, I was still. The more you get into the streets, the more you want to the streets.
Right.
So. My neighborhood, like I said, it really wasn't nothing going on over there. It was not that many black families. It was starting to come then, but it still was a quiet neighborhood. Right. So I would travel from the north side over to the west side and hang out with my cousins and them.
Yeah.
Because they had it popping over there. So we would go over there. I would go over there and walk. Take me about 45 minutes to get there, and then I hang out all day. And basically, I found me a crew to be around. Well, after a while, my mother found out that she was going over there and threatening my cousins and them and tell them, "Y'all better not let him come over here with y'all, catch him. I'm calling the police on all y'all," stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they didn't really want me to be on the block with them.
Sure.
After a while, I just started looking inward at the people that was moving in my neighborhood. And we made us a little group, a little gang. And from there, it was just she then was like you knew what it was like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were just little terrorists.
How old were you at that point?
About 15.
15, okay.
15, 16. And at first we just hung out. We didn't really have a name for ourselves. We just was a group, and people just knew that we were on the north side.
Yeah.
And then I say when I got like 20, 21, we put a name to ourselves, called ourselves Huey Street. And then we just went on with it. And then, really couldn't nobody tell me nothing then. I was just more or less, I was in there. I was,
It's your family at that point.
Huh?
It was like your family at that point.
Yeah. And the thing about it was the guys that I hung around, my mother knew that we wasn't good for each other. But she got used to them being around me, so they became like family. Like my mother was like their mother, you know what I mean? So that stuff went on for a while, and then I started getting in trouble,
Yeah.
I mean, running afoul of the law. Went to boys' school.
Yeah.
Got out. My mother made me go to Job Corps.
What's that?
It's just a little thing where you go and learn skills.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm familiar now.
And I went there and learned how to be a welder. I came back and I honestly tried to do that job. And I went to different places where, they did welding, but because I didn't have any experience, they wouldn't give me a job.
Oh, really?
Well, that's frustrating to a person that's young.
Right.
Especially when you coming from the streets. It's a lot easier to do stuff. It's easier to sell dope.
Right.
It's easier to sit back and get drunk and stuff like that.
Right.
So after about a month of trying, I just said forget it. And went back to doing what I was doing. Kept on catching cases. So one day my mother gave me an ultimatum. She said, either you get you a job or you get out of my house. So I was like, all right. Went and looked inside this thing called the Penny Saver they used to have. And they had this company that was going around selling magazines door to door across the country.
Okay.
And I signed up for it. So I got me a job and I got out.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
Yeah. So, and she didn't like that. She wanted me. She didn't want me that far because it's like everywhere I went, trouble just found me.
Sure.
So like I was in Massachusetts and they had this hurricane called Big Ben. I was in California. They had the mudslides and all of this and the Rodney King stuff. I went to Florida. They was having hurricanes. It was just like everywhere I went, something negative was happening. She was like, "Come home." But it was so fun. I was making so much money and stuff. So I didn't do it. I stayed there for I did it for about 10, 11 months.
Okay.
And came home. And I probably about 2 weeks after I got home, I got caught in the park with a handgun.
Oh, yeah.
First time I went to jail.
Okay.
Possession of a handgun. And I end up getting that case deferred because they had this program where if you didn't get in trouble for a year, they'd throw the case out.
Sure. So I
got that deferred, but I kept, and after that, I just started getting in trouble all the time.
So at what point, how old were you here? Like, were you in the 20?
20, 21. I was 20. I was 20 when I caught the gun case.
Okay.
And then I caught a robbery case, and I ended up going to Dukem Center.
Dukem Center is
it's like a community corrections type of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had to stay in there for 11 months.
Gotcha.
And then I got out, violated probation a couple times. Then I kind of got serious because I was like, all the time I always knew that I had to do something different, right?
Right.
Even though I was always in the streets, but in the back of my mind, I knew, do something different.
Right.
So one of my guys got killed, and it was kind of hard on me, because he was like my best friend, one of my best friends.
Right.
A really, really close guy, and he got killed.
Man.
And it kind of took me for a loop. So
Yeah.
I spiraled and started getting drunk and high and all that.
Yeah.
And I was on probation at the time, and I wasn't going to see my probation officer.
Yeah.
So this happened for like 2-3 months. I was just in a slump. I finally crawled up out of it. I moved. Well, first before I moved, I had got a job.
Yeah.
And I went to my probation officer, and I went in and told her everything, and confessed that I was getting drunk and stuff, and apologized for not coming in. And she's like, okay, well, we're gonna take a drug test of you, and just to see what you've been doing. I'm not gonna get in trouble for it, but I just want to make sure that you're not lying to me about what you said you've been doing.
Yeah.
Well, I took a drug test, showed that I had marijuana in my system, and she let it go. I started reporting again.
That's
and then I moved to Niles. Now, I wasn't supposed to move to Niles, but I moved to Niles with this woman, and we were staying there together.
Yeah.
And one day, we were riding back. It was on my mother's birthday. I had just went to a Myers and bought her a bracelet for her birthday, and gave her like $75. And we're riding back to Niles, and the police pull us over, and I was driving. So they gave me a ticket. But in Michigan, back then, I don't know if they still do it, but if you got a ticket, you could pay the ticket right there. If you had the money, you could pay it right there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So I gave him, it was like $100 and some dollars I gave it to him. Then I had to ride back home and ask my mother for the $75 back, because I was broke after that. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, then things kept going on, and I was saying it now. It's like I'm out. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to work every day.
Yeah.
I'm minding my business. I'm in Niles. I'm away from everybody.
Yeah.
And somebody ended up getting killed across the street from my house.
Really?
Now, the crazy part about it is I had just bought this Ford Thunderbird, just like the one my mother had, but this was sky blue.
Okay.
It was nice, and my paper plate had just expired the day that the dude got killed.
Oh.
So I go to my mother's house because I'm working at this place called Adapto, across the street from the airport, well, right around the area, and so she's like, the place expired. Somebody got killed across the street. The police are going to be all around here. You don't need to be driving the car without the proper plates. So I said, okay. I left my car there, and my stepfather took me to the license branch. We got the plates. He dropped me off at work. He said, well, when you get back, the plates will be on the car, and you can just leave.
Yeah.
So cool. He picks me up. I said, well, take me to the liquor store so I get something to drink. Now, the day that the house across the street got shot up that night before.
Yeah.
So when I get off work, he's taking me to the liquor store, and we see a whole bunch of ambulance and police cars flying past us.
Oh,
and I'm like, man, I hope they're not going to the house. Just saying it, but not really, really thinking it.
Right.
We get around the corner, and that's where they're at. They're in my house.
Oh gosh.
The house across the street got shot up again, but this time somebody got killed in there.
Oh really?
I'd look at it for a little bit, and then I'd try to go get in my car and leave.
Yeah.
But they got a piece of yellow tape over my car, because they got the tape going from their house to the houses across the street.
Oh really?
So they're like, where do you think you're going? Home?
Yeah.
I ain't had nothing to do with this, what I'm saying? I'm trying to get up out of here. They said, no, your car is part of a crime scene. What's your name? And then, they run all this. And where were you at? And I told them I was at work. They called and made sure and all that.
Yeah.
Well, about 3 weeks later, I get a summons to come to the probation office because my probation is violated.
Really?
Yeah. The police, bless their heart. They figured that the best way they could find out about what happened across the street was to put pressure on people that was around there. Since my car was part of a crime scene, I was on probation. They had my probation officer violate my probation for being in the house and having a dirty urine drop. The one that she said she'd never talk about.
Yeah, right.
So it was.
She tried to.
Yeah, just to see if they can get, find out what happened. So anyway, I ended up getting violated, and that night I got sentenced to the remainder of my probation time that I had got for when I was in Duval Center.
Okay.
And later on that night, the police investigators came up to the county jail and called me out of my cell and asked me did I know about the murder that happened across the street, and if I did, they would go to the judge and give my sentence throughout, and I would be back on probation. Well, defined as I am, plus I didn't know nothing about it.
Right.
I was at work.
Right.
I told them, you know, I got my time. I ain't got nothing to do but 10 months anyway, so go on about your business. And that's what I, you know, so they left. I went to prison, did the 10 months. And right when I was about to get out, they came back up there and charged me with a criminal recklessness for shooting at somebody.
Really?
And took me back to court, gave me 3 years. So I had to go back to prison and do another year and a half. And I did that and got out. And by then I don't really care for the police too much.
Right, yeah.
I don't really, you know, I ain't learned no lesson because at the time I was literally trying to do the right thing.
Right,
so
yeah, right.
I don't know how to, in my mind, I don't know how to capitalize off the good ground I was gaining. I just reverted back to the street. So when I got out, I was just like back in street mode.
Right, right. And that's after 4 years now?
Yeah. This is like, I did 2 years and 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. I did 2 years, 7 months. And so I get out. Now, I got a hate list basically. I don't really care for the police too much at this time.
Yeah.
I really can't say nothing good for them because they in my mind, you know, well, the truth, they subverted the system just to get me to tell on somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that's a tactic that they use, but I didn't think it was fair because I was out. I was completely away from stuff.
Right, right.
And then the reason that I was on probation was because this dude robbed somebody and he told them that I made him do it.
Really?
They charged me and I just pled guilty because I didn't want to take it to trial and end up doing like 8 years.
Right.
So now I'm blaming him.
Right.
So when I'm in prison, my mother died.
Oh, really?
I couldn't go to her funeral. I'm blaming him. He's the center of my attention now. So I told myself if I ever see him, I'm shooting him. And so I get out in October, and I jumped right back into the streets. I mean, it wasn't a pause to it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all this crazy stuff, and on New Year's Day, I was dropping somebody off in Monroe Circle, and I saw the guy. He was carrying somebody to a car. She was drunk. And I heard him laugh, and I know his laugh, so when I heard him, I called him over to the car. When he came over to the car, I shot him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he survived, and told him I shot him. I got arrested, and
So you submitted already when you got...
Huh?
So you just went ahead and admitted
No,
it?
I went to trial.
You went to trial? Oh, you did?
Trial.
Okay.
Because I figure like this, you put my name in business, and I end up going to prison. I get out and I shoot you because you put my name in some bull crap.
Right, right.
I'll figure it. There's no way he's going to come testify or nothing like that against me. No. You know, after I shot him, you know.
Right.
But I wasn't thinking, you know, some people can't deal with that type of stuff. They don't want street justice. They just want you away from them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, he got me away from them. He came to court, testified against me, and I ended up getting like 50 years in prison.
Right. And at that time, how old were you? You're 20...
27.
27 now.
Yeah. So, there you go. Right then, though, I knew you gotta change. You gotta change up. You like the worst criminal ever. You know, you know, like really, you always get in trouble. You know, some stuff I got away with, but a majority of the time they called me, and when they called me, it was they made me do time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I said, man, you gotta live like a regular citizen, man.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to do a lot of time. I knew that, even if I went on the pill, I was going to end up doing like 10 years at least.
Right.
Well, I never went on the pill, but during that whole process, I was just in there just getting my mind right, you know, going to school, working in the law library, learning English, learning how to write well, learning how to, doing a lot of philosophy and stuff, just trying to understand stuff, right?
Right.
And it made me better.
At this time, were you thinking about like your mom and what she would have, you know, like wanted for you, and was that something like your mom would have been a motivation there too?
Me and my mom, we had a love-hate relationship. Like, I've always been intelligent. I never capitalized on that. Like when I was like 5, we stayed in the Robert Taylor homes. There was just this guy came to the house with a set of encyclopedias. And we stayed on the 16th floor. He came up there with 26 encyclopedias. I'm surprised he didn't get robbed. Anyway, my mother bought the mugs. She had the money. She bought them because she knew that I had that, you know, that aptitude to get there. But and I stayed in them books. But I stayed in the streets, so my mother would just look at me from time to time, and like I would be in the room somewhere I could just look and see her just mean mugging me. I thought she hated me. I was like, when I got to prison, I thought about it. I'm like, man, she was just disappointed.
Right.
I had so much potential, man. I could have been anything. I mean, I haven't tried anything and failed at it when I honestly put effort into it.
Right.
Never in my life have I tried something and I failed at it. When I put effort into it, and to know that and still just choose to do dumb stuff, you know what I mean? Just the easy route, and it took. I had to sit down and see that.
Right.
I had to sit down and see that. I couldn't see it when I was out there. And so I reflected on my mother a lot in that time, and thought about all the time she tried to get me right, and so I just started focusing on just doing something better, just trying to better myself, better my mindset for my eventual return to the streets, whenever that was. I never knew when it was going to be.
Right.
But I figured that whenever you get there, you're going to have a skill set. You're going to have to be able to prove that you can do stuff.
Right.
So that's what I did.
So how did you end up serving all 50 years?
No, well, at the time in Indiana, when you got sentenced, you only had to do half of your time if you didn't get in any trouble.
Oh, okay.
And then if you went to school and did like different programs, you can get time reduction. So, and that's what I did. I went to school. I went to college. I went to barber school. I've been cutting hair forever.
So you were in there, and they had barber school and all this too?
Yep.
Oh wow, that's nice.
And I was in there forever. So, I mean, I've been cutting hair forever. So I knew that cutting hair had something to do with what I was going to eventually end up doing.
Yeah.
I almost got set back when coronavirus came, because then I didn't know if I really wanted to do it and be around people and bring stuff home to my family and stuff.
Right.
But this has been a passion of mine forever.
Yeah.
So I got me a associate's and a bachelor's degree.
Nice.
Got me a Department of Labor certificate for being a teacher's aide. I started writing newsletters for the education department.
Wow.
Clerked in the education department. Got my barber's license. Then I went to Holy Cross, because Holy Cross has a program there, and I went there when I was at Westville.
Oh wow.
And in 2015, I went to this program they had called Kairos. I don't know if you ever heard of Kairos.
I've heard of it. Familiar.
And they had me go because I had fixed the computers for the chapel. And one of the clerks said, "You know what? We're gonna sign you up for Kairos since you hooked us up with these computers, fixed us up these computers." So I knew that when you went to Cairo's weekend retreat, you ate a lot. I knew that, so I was like, "Bet, hook me up." I'm going there, and I'm really finna go get fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, when I got there, man, it's just like God talked to me, and after that, I just started going to church. I got saved during Kairos.
Nice.
And it was around Easter 2015.
2015.
Yep. And so I went to the Easter service right after Kairos.
Yeah.
The pastor, his name is Doyle Moore. He was pastor there. He's locked up, and he's a MA pastor, but he was a pastor. And I had some questions still. He answered all my questions in this sermon.
Wow.
Like the questions I had, he answered them. He didn't know he was talking to me.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
that's awesome. That gives you chills.
Yeah.
Man.
So I joined the church, and I started doing engineering for the church, and I used to put the scriptures up on the television when people would get up there and preach. I'd throw the scriptures up there real quick.
Yeah.
I did the band. I was a producer.
Okay.
We used to do hip hop music and stuff up there.
Okay.
And
cool.
And I just went up the ladders. Went from a deacon to an elder in our little church.
Yeah.
And used to give exhortations and stuff like that. And I stayed in the Bible.
Yeah.
I read the Bible upside down, up, back and forth. Going there, just read a book or read a section and just break it down until I got the best understanding of it.
Right.
And it just helped me in my maturity because there's a lot of life lessons in the Bible,
Right.
And so I did that. I got a little bit more empathy and sympathy in my heart for people, and I forgave myself a little bit because you get all the time. You get that time, you beat yourself up.
Right.
And like that first 10 years, even though I was improving, I was still beating myself up. I was still getting drunk every day.
Oh, right,
It's easy to get drunk in prison.
Really.
The easiest thing is to get drunk in prison.
Wow.
So I would beat myself up I still beat myself up. And when I got saved and when I started getting into that Bible like that.
That forgiveness is real, huh?
Yep. And I realized, there's a section in Romans where it says God foreknew you, then He predestined you, then He calls you, and then He justifies you, and then He glorifies you.
Right.
But you got to answer that call. It's the middle one that He foreknew you, He predestined you to do something, and then one day He's going to call, and then what are you going to do?
Right.
And that was my time to answer the call.
Right.
And I realized that. When I realized that, I said, okay, I'm answering right now. And now I'm justified.
Right.
And I just had faith that I was justified in my actions now. As long as I went according to His will, I was going to win.
Right.
And I haven't lost yet.
That's great, yeah.
I haven't lost yet, I ended up getting out of prison 4 years ahead of time.
That's amazing. So that was 2020?
2021, last year.
Oh, 21, okay.
Yeah, I got out March 18th, 2021.
All right.
I got locked up February the 18th of 1999. I was there for 5 presidents.
Wow.
9/11, all that.
Major things you were locked up.
Yeah, I was locked up for all that. Coronavirus, I caught coronavirus there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die, but I was really talking. Me and God, we had serious conversations. Them ain't days. I thought I was gonna go up there and see him for a little bit.
Don't let me die in here.
Yeah.
No, that's
so.
scary.
No, I thought I was gonna die, so I just basically prayed and made sure that I prayed, asked for forgiveness for everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't die. I got up out of it.
That's great.
And then like 9 months later, I got out.
That's awesome.
And then when I got out, got the shop 3 weeks after I got out.
Really?
Yep.
That's quick.
Yeah, it's very quick. But like I said, I haven't lost since.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So the day I got out, I bought me $1,000 worth of barber equipment.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I knew that's what I wanted to do.
That's what you wanted to do.
The day I got out, like that was the third thing I did. I went to lunch. Went to lunch. Then left lunch, went to the bank, took my money off the card they gave me because they charged you like $3 for every transaction.
Yeah.
So I got that money off of that card, and then I went to Sally's Beauty Supply and bought me $1,000. I should have went somewhere else because Sally's is very expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sally got that.
No hit on Sally, but it's just they just there, So
you got that extra
and then I left from there and went to Metro, bought me a phone, then signed up for Facebook. And friended everybody I thought I could friend. And they were, so they're like, do I know you?
Right, it's been so long.
They're like, no, I'm just trying to meet new people. Well, really what I was trying to do was just make an audience.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to be putting a whole bunch of haircuts on Facebook.
Right.
So, I did that, and one of my friends, he had this shop. He was like, he had to go back to where he did haircuts in Michigan, and this spot was just here.
Yeah.
And it was just wasting money.
Oh, okay.
Because he had a lease on it.
Okay.
So he talked to a couple people, and he started seeing my customer. And he talked to a couple people, and they was like, "Man, get him that spot. Let him get the opportunity." So he said, "Look, I got a shop. I'll let you go ahead and get it. Like it's still his shop.
Okay.
But I just got control of it."
Yeah.
So, and he was like, "You don't have to. You do whatever you want to do in there. It's all on you." I came equipped with everything.
Yeah.
I just added a little here and there, And 3 weeks after I got out, I was in here.
That's awesome.
About 2 days after that, the newspapers came like, "How did you do that?" And I'm like, "Man, I give glory to God, man. He'll do it." And then after that, I started doing panel discussions with the wardens and the governor and all that and that. Got married. I got my apartment 5 weeks after I got out. With no credit.
Yeah.
Not having had a job in 20-some years.
Right.
No proof of income, nothing.
Right.
But they saw me on the TV and they said, "We're gonna take a chance on you." And they gave me an opportunity, and I wanted that the whole time. My lease is almost up. It's been a year, so I'm finna try to upgrade to give me a bigger apartment or probably a house or something. But
yeah, because I remember when I was here last time, you were telling me that you got one room and you got 5 people in it.
So I'm working on that, and they already told me that they'll give me another bedroom, to go into.
That's great.
So and all it came from is just having faith, just believing.
Yeah.
Just believing and thanking him and giving him credit for what he do.
Right. It's amazing how being able to get a second chance and turning your life around. And, would you say like maybe this would have been your third chance or something like that?
Yeah, it's like I've been in trouble a lot in my life.
Yeah.
And I used to look at people that went to prison or go to jail and get into church, and I'd be like, "Oh, look at them trying to get a time cut. They trying to get out,
Yeah.
That's all I thought they were doing.
Yeah.
And some of them were. I did 15 years before I even thought about
going to church.
Yeah. And then when I finally did, I realized, God calls people in church. I mean, in prison, in jail.
Yeah.
He goes there.
Right.
He's there. He's everywhere. After that, man, I just say, you know what? You got these promises. I'm gonna stick to them. And I don't doubt anything they say. And he confirms it all the time.
Yeah.
He never lets me go hungry. Never lets me go broke.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything illegal since I've been out.
It's awesome.
Not one thing. And it feels good when I pay my rent.
Yeah. Kind of sense of ownership. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because I'm doing it legitimately.
Yeah.
It feels good to buy cars and take my wife out to eat. And
yeah. What was the first place you went to eat after you got out?
I don't remember the place because it was right there in LaPorte. It was like, because I got out in Westville. So I don't really remember the exact name of the restaurant we went to. It was good.
Yeah.
But when I got back to South Bend and I did the bank, Sally's, Metro thing. Went home, changed, got some more clothes put on because I still had like just basic clothes on.
Right.
And then went to Cheddar's.
Oh yeah.
That was good. I was like, that's the first, you know, serious meal I had. The first meal I had just ate a cheeseburger. I just wanted the cheeseburger for some reason, right?
Yeah.
With the Cheddar's, and it was delicious, really.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always I see there's like I think it's a TikTok. They just talk about like, you know, people who he interviewed this guy who was talking about how he was locked up for X amount of years. I forget how long, but he was out there for a long time. He's like, first thing I had was my McDonald's double.
Yeah, like,
it was the best thing I had in my life.
It's like all this food out here, we just go straight to a fast food restaurant. So. Man, but you know they give you soybeans in prison.
Oh really?
Everything is soybeans. They call it heart healthy.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean, like once you fart, the food's gone. You know, like, you leave out full, you fart, you hungry again. You know, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys might know by now, but if you don't, Living Ardently is an affiliate with Be Your Heart Design. Be Your Heart Design has a ton of great gifts for you, your loved ones, or even a newborn or anybody in your life, really. And no matter what stage of life you're in, they have a gift or gifts or things for you to buy at their shop. Me and my wife love buying things for our daughter there. They have a beautiful Marian doll, St. Joseph doll, and Jesus doll. They also have a book on Mary, and Kiara loves holding that thing. Though she can't read yet, she loves it so much. They have Saint Quilt, which is really awesome, nice and cozy for Kiara. And we sometimes use it ourselves because it's big enough. If we're getting a little chilly, we just put it on ourselves. But so yeah, Be Your Heart just has a ton of great things for everyone to enjoy. So if you haven't gone and checked out Be Your Heart Design, go check out their shop and use our promo code Ardently10 for 10% off your next purchase. Everything that we earn from the affiliate program goes back into our podcast, the production, keeping up the podcast platforms, and all that stuff like that. Needless to say, we are really grateful for when you guys use the affiliate link for Be Your Heart Design and support our podcast. Again, that promo code is Ardently10 for 10% off your next purchase at no extra cost to you. It's a pretty good deal. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah. So,
I think it's really cool that you started the show, you know, decided to go the barbershop route, you know, like I think you are given a unique opportunity, right, to kind of to meet people as you cut hair and get to talk to them and share your life. I feel like in barbershops, it's like people tend to like feel more free and open. It's like not, you know, once they sit in the chair, it's like whatever, they'll tell you whatever.
You're kind of like a counselor in some respects.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes people just let their stress out, you know.
Yeah.
And it's good, you know. I got solid relationships with a majority of my clients. Some people come in here, they don't want to talk, they just want a haircut.
Right.
Okay. I ain't got no problem with it, but if you want to, we can talk. I'll talk to the person, you know.
Yeah.
And man, like I said, I think me and my clients, we got a good relationship. After you cut a person's hair so many times, and you have certain conversations with them.
Yeah.
Then they see you give them quality service, and you let them sit back and relax. Your relationship tends to grow, you know.
Right. Like people start to trust you more, and yeah. It's kind of how it goes, in faith too. Just like
yeah, that's the thing. Like in faith, when you like when he confirms it, like when he shows you.
Right.
When the person first comes to get their haircut, they're kind of apprehensive.
Right.
They want to make sure that you're not finna mess them up because you're new.
Right. I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna mess up my line, push my hairline back.
So you get past that. Now I got people that come in here and they go to sleep through the whole haircut. First time their eyes are moving around every time I move out the way they're looking in the mirror.
Right.
So when you confirm what you're doing and show that you're capable, then that's a different thing. It sets a person on a different level of trust, at least to the point where they trust you with their hair.
Right.
Trust that you're not going to give them the heebie-jeebies when they get 3 days later. And then, over time, relationship kind of deepens. Like, it could just be the simplest stuff, or you make a comment on something, you notice something, you talk about it, and that's, it is what it is.
Yeah, get to check in on them, be intentional, and kind of be there for them if you know they're going through something, I had a barber back in Florida before we moved up here that he and I, going to the barbershop, it ain't cheap. You go maybe like 2 times a month at most, sometimes. Or you said earlier, you got somebody who comes here twice a week.
Right there.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
It's like it's nice, but for some of us who don't make as much money, you can't do it as often.
No,
you try to do it as much as you can.
Yeah, I got some people that come like once a month.
Right.
Or every time they come, they get an afro. Every 2 months.
Yeah.
But one thing that makes me proud is that the last haircut they got was for me.
Right. That's the thing. It's like when you have a good relationship with your barber, or you trust them, it's like the joke, you don't cheat on your barber, but at the same time, it's true. I mean, like you go out there, you put trust into this person, and you get an opportunity to grow that relationship.
But that's one thing barbers need to understand. Like, you got a person that's loyal to you. You got older barbers. There's some barbers that's like in their 70s that really their skills are not really as good as they used to be.
Right.
But they still have people that come to them that's been going to them for like 30 years.
Right.
Because they got that loyalty there.
Right. Conversation.
And even if you don't have a person for 30 years, you only have them for 6 months. You only got them for, they've been your customer for 2 months.
Right.
You're supposed to show them respect and dignity,
Right.
And you're supposed to give them the best cut that you can give them every time. You're supposed to honor their time, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Honor their trust in you. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
So.
And from barbering, what has barbering and like your time in learning about faith kind of teach you something about how you interact with people outside of in just a regular day to day?
Like, what do you mean?
You get to interact with people in a unique way here as a barber, but has any of that reflected into how you interact with people just normally in your life, in your family, outside of your family?
Well,
people you just meet.
I won't say necessarily barbering. Barbering is like, I think the skills that I got from going to school and living and communicate with my family and people out there helps me in here.
Okay.
So I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
I'm able to relate to people because in here, because of the faith that I have, because of the experiences that I've been through. So somebody sits in the chair and they have an issue, I might be able to say, well, I know somebody that can help you with that, or just listen to them, or give my advice on it. If I hear somebody going the wrong way, I can tell them, man, I don't really think that's what you want to do.
Right.
And that type of stuff, it happens a lot. You run across people that they need advice. They want it. They look for it. They come in here and they bring up a subject just because they want to see what you got to say about it.
Right.
And so I think that past experiences have helped me be able to in prison, you run across that a lot.
Yeah.
You run across people that come sit at the table, or you sitting there looking at TV, or you're over reading a magazine or something, and they'll just come and just start talking about something, and you know they're trying to get something off the chest. So now I can spot it more. Yeah. Like instead of just thinking it just just harmless banter, a person could be searching for something, searching for help. Right. And and I can pick that up now. That's what I mean by like my experiences have helped me in here. Right. As opposed to my experiences in here helped me. Right. Yeah. And then
it's a unique thing.
Now one way it does help is that you build a network. A network of associates and stuff. So like somebody might be looking for a mechanic, and I might have a mechanic that's a client, Right. Or somebody's looking for a dog, and I might know somebody that sells dogs or that trains dogs or little stuff like that.
That's really cool. I mean, after a year of like having the shop, how many clients do you have now?
I'd say about 60. Probably 60.
Nice.
Yeah, about 60. That's just a rough estimate, but yeah, about 60. Because on the weekends, I cut probably, if we count combined Friday and Saturday, I probably cut like 30 to 40 heads. Wow. And then on the weekdays, I'll cut probably 7 to 8 heads a day. Wow. So if you say 7, that's 35. Right. 30 to 40, 65, maybe something like that. And then you got people that come once in a blue moon. So. But around 60, 70, something like that.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, it's like and it's only gonna grow. Don't keep growing. That's the thing about it.
Like I give out free juice and pop and chips and stuff to my clients, and that doesn't hurt the situation.
Yeah.
And
you can just kind of just giving, like, just feeding someone gives, feels like
I just basically
gives you trust,
Yeah, I just
makes you feel at home.
Yeah, it just feels good to be able to give back some kind of way. Yeah. Like my platform's not that big right now, but I utilize the platform that I have to make the difference that I can.
Yeah. If there's something that you would give advice to somebody, who's just like trying to find their way, like one piece of advice, what would that be?
Give yourself a break. Trust in the skills and the potential that you have. Like, don't think that you're relegated to do something that you don't probably want to do. Yeah. Like sometimes people just stay in a situation because they feel comfortable in it. They don't want to get outside that box. But in doing so, you're not giving yourself a chance to grow. Right. You're not giving yourself a chance to prove that you are better than the position that you're in right there. And just give yourself a chance and show yourself that you can do it. You don't have to prove something to everybody else. Prove it to yourself. Right. Now, I went out on a limb on myself, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it's a great thing that what you're doing. It's great to hear your story. From what you've learned, what you've gone through, and I think it's inspiring for a lot of people. So.
Yeah. It is. I hear people say it, but it's still a humbling thing to hear somebody say that you inspire them, Yeah. Or you have a good story. Yeah. I'm just trying to survive,
Yeah.
Trying to make it, trying to trying to alter some of the bad that I did.
Yeah.
So if I help a person in any kind of way, I appreciate it. You know, that's what it's all about, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm helping you with this tight boy.
I can feel it. So you know when you get a haircut, you know it's going well. Oh yeah.
Oh, you can tell.
You can tell.
You have a person that stays in one part of your head for like 5 hours, you know it's a problem.
So they trying to fix something.
They're trying to fix it. I stay in a section. Like I'll go around and I'll do my little system first, and then I will just go from section to section to section. Mm-hmm. So I might stay there for like about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and work on an area. Like I worked over here, now I'm working in the back. But when I get over that section, boy,
it's looking tight. Yeah.
Yep.
I bet. A couple more questions here, just to get some things. Is there anything that, like, I know this is maybe cliche question here, but like, is there anything of that past with your story that you kind of regret?
In the past?
Yeah, anything that you've done.
Yeah, I regret shooting the dude I shot. I regret disappointing my mother. I regret not giving myself a chance, you know.
Right.
That's stuff that I regret. I can't change it though.
Right.
So I don't
dwell
on it. I don't let it get to me like that.
Right.
But I seize on opportunities now. Like I see an opportunity to make myself better or to get in a better position. I take advantage of it now. Like now I'm in college.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What you studying?
Information technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, IT work. I'm working for a master's degree from North Central University.
Nice.
It's an online campus.
Yeah.
Online college.
College, nice.
Yeah. And it's like 14 months or 16 months.
Not bad.
Yeah. So I get my master's degree.
It's gonna be nice. I mean, you kind of seem like you always been a techie in some way, the way what you've served and what you've done in the past. So is that something you just love to do on the side?
Yeah, I love computer work. I love building databases and making networks and stuff like that.
Nice.
When I was in prison, man, I used to manage a lot of computers, a lot of networks. Yeah. I used to build databases for everybody, like all type of stuff, man.
Right.
I had that skill, but I don't have proof that I know it. So, like, if I try to go get a job right now in that field, they're like, okay, well, how do you know this? I just know. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks for coming. So I'm going to school to learn more, but also just to have proof that somebody taught me, you know.
Right.
And it's an accredited school, so.
That's awesome. Are you hoping that to leave barbering and do something in that field, or? No,
not leave. Never leave barbering. I'm gonna pass off a nice barbershop to somebody in my family.
Yeah.
I wanna work for a company where I can just go in probably once or twice a month. Mm-hmm. And just make sure everything's running right, and I can basically run it from a laptop, and get like $60,000 to $70,000 a year for that.
Yeah,
and then still be able to operate a barbershop.
Right.
And eventually, I go from cutting hair to just being a manager owner.
Yeah.
But if I figure that with 60,000-70,000 from there and another 40-50 from this, 100,000, 120,000.
Yeah.
You know,
you're working 6 figures easy.
That's not a bad a year, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when I was eating 13-cent soups for 33 cents a soup, you know?
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's one thing that I say. Well, two things about prison that really helped me, is it teaches you how to be patient. You can't just expect things to happen. You gotta
work for it.
You gotta wait for it. You gotta be patient. Don't try to rush stuff. And you gotta be able to tolerate a little bit. The other thing is, it teaches you to work with what you got. Right.
That's amazing.
Like, if you only got 2 soups, you better make the best out of them 2 soups.
You better space them out.
Yeah.
You take 1 sip per hour.
Be happy with what you got. Work for more, but be happy with what you got and deal with it. And prison's really taught me that. So I don't really dwell on what I don't got.
Right.
I just expect stuff that I'm going to get.
Right. You think you would have been in the same situation now if you hadn't gone to prison?
Probably dead.
Yeah.
And or on death row. I was really in a bad
spot.
I was. When my mother died when I was in prison, I harbored a lot of resentment.
Yeah.
And I was just out here just acting up a fool. But prison ended up helping me turn it around. So there's a lot of stuff. I wish I didn't have to go to prison to learn that lesson, but I'm glad I did go to learn that lesson. I'm glad that I got out and got to live a little bit instead of being in a box somewhere, you know, in a cemetery or sitting with a longer life sentence or death row or something, and took somebody's life, you know. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. And you say you get to work with a program that helps inmates or something like that, or? I'm a part of a panel, and we go and talk to like higher figures in Indiana's government. Oh, okay.
Like we went and talked to all of the wardens and deputy wardens and the commissioner and his team about how to help people get out and stay out, you know. And we went to talk to the governor's cabinet about how to help people when they get out here get the stuff that they need and how to make it easier for them to stay out, you know. And now I haven't been able to work on this one because they're doing it every Friday, and that's like my busiest day. But I'm a part of a panel that talks to the Public Defenders Council.
Oh, really?
And next we're going to be talking before the because it's the Public Defender Council thing. It's an online one. So I've been at work and I haven't been able to really join that one the way I want to. But our next one is we're going to talk to the Supreme Court Commission for the state of Indiana. And you know, I do little stuff like that.
So nice.
I try to give my time as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of wrong, and the best thing I could do is just find a way to right some of that, you know.
Right. If that means help, you know, it's really inspiring to see that, you know, like I hear these stories of, you know, I forget this guy. He's like he has a prison ministry, and he was like locked up for a long time too, and he started this prison ministry where now a lot of the people he works with are actually people who are also former inmates.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because you're giving a person, you're making a space for a person to get out and do good, you know.
Right.
So you're not just getting out there and making yourself better, you're reaching back.
Right.
You can't help everybody. Everybody's
Right.
not going to accept that help.
Right.
Know? But who you can help, you help. You know, who you
Right.
can't, you don't dwell on it. You just make yourself available.
Right. It's a beautiful thing to see, you know, and to know that there's things in place for you guys, you know, who are former inmates to, you know, give some feedback and to, you know, be a part of the discussion, you know.
It's always good. It's always good to give back. Yeah. And it's always good to, I mean, it's a good thing to be a part of society and not be a foul of it, you know. I just sit back and look at a lot of TV shows and movies and just see normalcy, and it just broke me down.
Right.
Start getting tears in my eyes because, you know, I'm gone. I've been gone forever.
Right.
And to be able to get out and just live a normal life and help other people in the process, it's just a good feeling.
Yeah. Something I've been learning as I, you know, get older and stuff and see different things and meet different people is that we all, like, despite where we are and what we are into, we all just kind of want to be part of a family, a part of a group, a part of something outside of yourself. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, you know, people, you know, like to claim that, well, I don't like to be with people like that, but inherently, I think like almost everyone does like want to be part of something.
Yeah, even introverts have to have some time with other people.
Right.
You don't just, unless you're just a hermit.
Right.
And if you're just a hermit, then okay, I understand that too, I guess.
Yeah.
But most people want to be able to
relate.
And have some type of social setting, some social relationships.
Right. It's like, and that's what, you know, what I'm starting to learn about people is like, you know, with whether it's like fan bases or I was big into sneakers growing up, so like the sneaker community, you know, people who love cars, everyone just wants to be part of some other group with similar interests, you know. And it's just really cool to see that. I guess it's just like really interesting to see how people are, you know, drawn to different things, and you know, you might feel like you're the only person who's interested in it, but you probably go on the internet and find like millions of people who are into the same thing, and
it's like you're always gonna find somebody that's like you.
Yeah.
Or you go somewhere and you'll see somebody that looks like you. It's like you got your unique skills, your unique qualities, but there's somebody that has some similarities to you.
Right. So it's really cool. I mean, that's something like I got some advice I got growing up, as when I was a kid. It's like find a group of people like you find a common interest with. That's gonna be your little family. You're gonna have good friends. Those friends gonna feel like family. And stick to them. Just make sure they're the right kind of people you want to be around. And you know, some of us get friends and they're amazing to be around, and others that sometimes, you know, make us do more silly things, you know, to say the least. So it's like finding a community and interest that, whatever it is, skateboarding, like cooking, find that community, right? I feel like you just gotta find you gotta find that community, so you're not trying to live life by yourself, you know?
It's hard being by yourself.
Right.
Some people say, man, I wouldn't care if I was around anybody. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
If you didn't care, you would be a hermit, you know?
Yeah.
You'll find your online job, and you just wouldn't have to deal with people. But and you know, they got plenty of stuff nowadays where you don't have to really leave home. You can DoorDash everything. You know?
you can do everything.
Man, that's one thing I found out about DoorDash, man. I must have jacked off a lot of money that first week. I was DoorDashing everything. I was DoorDashing Subway. I know Subway was loving me, boy.
I had roommates before I moved up here, before I got married, Man, they DoorDashed everything. It's like, bro, that was that's a 2-minute drive. Why'd you DoorDash that? You DoorDash some Wendy's.
Yeah, man. It's just like, once you find out that you can do that, oh my word, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's fun. Well, man, it's been great to have you on the podcast and chat with you, and can't wait to show everyone the final result of the cut.
Oh, it's there too.
Oh yeah, I mean, they can see it. I can barely see it, but I can feel it.
It's a good cut. It's a good cut, and especially when I get done putting my line into it.
So leave the listeners with one last piece of advice that if they're struggling with their faith or whatever it is, struggling in life in general, what is your one piece of advice that you can give to these people?
Well, you gotta believe. I remember there's a story in the Bible where Jesus had just left from the transfiguration. Transfiguration.
Yeah.
And I said transfixion.
That's what I was trying to say. I was like, what is the right
transfiguration?
word? Yeah.
And he's coming back, and his disciples are there with this little boy that looks like epilepsy or something. And he goes up to him because they're arguing with the little boy's father. And he's like, what's going on? He's like, man, I thought y'all could do something. I came over here to get my son healed. And these clowns basically ain't doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
So he said, I was seeing if y'all can help him. He's like, anything's possible if you believe. Anything's possible if you believe. And he said, well, I believe, but help my unbelief. And Jesus didn't stop doing it because he said, I got some unbelief. Yeah. He just helped his belief. Helped him. He just helped him by proving that it's possible. So just pray and ask God I don't understand how you do stuff. I don't know if it's possible, but show me if it is. You know, help me understand. Help me believe in you. Yeah. And see what he do. And if he don't do anything, then you have a legitimate argument. You know? Right. Yeah, a legitimate argument against him. But if you go in that Bible and you find his word say he'll do stuff, and you call him on that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be somebody that's going to be screaming about him for the rest of your life. Yeah. So just give yourself a chance, give God a chance, and just step out on faith. Right.
That's the thing too. You gotta I think you said this earlier. You gotta give yourself a break.
You gotta give yourself a break, man. Yeah. You can't just beat yourself up about stuff. Yeah. I mean, life happens. Things happen. Yeah. And in that, you're gonna have some setbacks. You're gonna make mistakes that's gonna hurt you. Right. But you don't kick yourself while you're down. You got the whole world kicking at you. You don't help them. You know what I mean? Well, at least I don't. I used to, but I don't know more.
Try not to. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't beat yourself up, man. Let everybody else do that. Yeah. And don't doubt yourself. Let everybody else do that. Then you prove them wrong.
I was gonna say. Yeah, it's the thing when it comes to faith. It's like trying to make sure that you don't count yourself out and beat yourself up about little things. Especially, I feel like this generation is coming up is always beating themselves up about anything. People my age, younger than me, they're like putting this high pressure to perform or to be something, that is somewhat unattainable.
Yeah, that's like Jeremiah. God said he has something for him to do it. He's like, man, I'm too young, man, I can't do it. Or like Moses, I can't talk, I don't know how to talk well. And, and God just basically said, man, I'm here. I got you. You just gotta have a little bit more. And if you think about it in the Moses thing, that's crazy because he said, okay, don't you got a brother? He got frustrated. He's like, don't you got a brother? Can't he just do it then? So, I got Aaron. He said, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen. Aaron to do the talking. You just hold a rod, and and let Aaron do the talking, and you just do do the miracles basically. In the end, Moses was doing all the talking. Like he got this confidence. After a while, he started realizing that he could do what he and Moses was the humblest person on the earth. But after a while, he went up to Pharaoh and basically just like, man, forget you. You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta work your faith. You gotta work it till you got confidence in yourself. Yeah. And over time, that believing in yourself will cause you to
change perspective.
No, just to be confident.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's not I don't care who sits in this chair. You sit in this chair, I'm nailing you. I'm gonna do my thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's years and years of experience. That's I know my capabilities. Right. So I got confidence going in there. If I was around when I was in barber school, I was around a whole bunch of people that cut hair. Right. It didn't bother me that they cut hair. Right. Because I know that I can cut hair. You know. Right. I don't dwindle. If anything, I'm gonna show off. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't run from stuff like that. I just respond to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I run towards it, and that comes from years and years of doing this.
I think too what you said like earlier ties in back into that is if you start to not be confident in these abilities, your abilities, pray for that, pray for that unbelief, to come.
Help show me. And you see that in the Bible, and you can see it in life if you believe it. Like there have been times, even since I've been out, that I didn't know. Like, especially when I first started cutting hair in this shop, I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. Right. But then I look up, and on the slowest day, the supposed to be slowest day, I end up with 20 customers. Yeah. Real bad, Awesome. Yeah. And you got people coming in here getting their haircut, you know, so you just got to have faith. You got to believe that there's nothing that can beat you. Yeah. As long as you got him, you got everything. Right. So. And I do, and I'm not, thumping Bibles, or you know what I'm saying, walk around indignant. I still make mistakes and stuff. But I got a strong faith in God. Yeah. I know He's shown me too much that like there's no way I'll disbelieve that He can do anything. Yeah. Yeah. I know for a fact that anything is possible with Him. Anything is possible with Him. Yeah. So, and if it's according to His will, you know what I'm saying, you got it. Right. So you just gotta make sure that what you're wishing for, what you're praying for, what you're doing is going with His will. And if it is, and you answer that call that He made to you, then He's going to justify it. And there's nothing that you can do to stop that. Like when and that's just like He's giving you authority to do something. So if He gave you authority to do it, then that means it's going to happen because He gave you authority to do it. Can't nobody stop Him. When He speaks, He does not lie. You know what I mean? Right. So like He said in Isaiah, when He, what His word comes down just like the water comes down and mists the earth and puts dew on the leaves and stuff. It's going to do what it was set to do. Right. So He's saying, I do not lie. And if He said it, then it's going to happen. If He's going to stand on that. So if He said that he commands you to do something, and he gives you authority to do it, then it's going to happen. Just like when Peter saw him walking on the sea,
right?
He said, "Lord, if that's you, command me to come in."
You. Yeah.
And he said, "Come on!" Right there, now he's able to walk on water because he got the authority.
Right.
Cannot stop him.
But then he started to doubt himself.
He started doubting himself, but and they say he began to sink. How did he begin to sink in water?
Right.
Like you just sank, don't you?
Yeah.
But so he was still walking, but he was just sinking down.
Yeah.
But that's just like you just gotta know that if he gives you authority, if he commands you to do something, he implicitly gave you authority to do it. A command is authority. I was telling dudes in prison when I was like, at count time, if the officer says, after I count, you go back in your room. Don't come out that room. You come out that room, you get a conduct report. All right. And so he's doing his count, and here comes a sergeant who has a higher rank than the officer. And he calls you and says, "William, come here." Or in your case, he says, "Adrian, come here."
Yeah.
Okay, what you gonna do?
We'll go.
And the officer can't do nothing about it because somebody higher than him told you to do something.
Right.
So a person that has higher authority gave you a command, and the person with low authority can't stop you.
Right.
So when the devil was causing the sea to go crazy, and Peter knew this and said, "Lord, if that's you, command me to come here," he couldn't do nothing but sit there and watch as he walked on water. So, and just that same way, you literally defy logic in some of the stuff that happens in your life when you believe in him and you do what he says. And you don't have no explanation for it. All you can say, "Man, God's good."
Yeah.
Like, how that happen? God's good.
God's good. That's it.
That's all you can say. God's good.
Yeah, man. I think it's beautiful what you're doing and how you taking this opportunity, this chance to grow and learn and become who you became. Making lemonade out of lemons, the sour lemons that you've been dealt. I think it's beautiful to see how.
You know what? I think I just got a new customer.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, this is pretty good. I think so.
Don't trust me, I'm gonna come back.
Well, I think so. Look at that right there. Ooh, you see it?
Yeah. My first time I seen it. But yeah, man. So thanks for coming, being willing to come on and chat about that stuff.
I guess I'm a middle, like I'm kind of an introvert in some ways, but mostly I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
But like I could be by myself for a little bit, I'll be alone in my thoughts sometimes.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me to talk, but especially if it's for a good reason. And if a person can see this, like my brother. If a person can see this, let me give you the whole sentence. If a person can see this, and it helps them, then I'm all for it. My brother, a person that I just slept in the same bed with for years, and we used to commit crimes together. He ended up going to prison in Tennessee and in Texas and in Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, we was in prison together before at the farm, and he got out of prison in Tennessee, and then he just got on his stuff. He started doing right.
Yeah.
And now, 18 years later, he's been married for 17 years. He has like a dang near $400,000 house.
Wow.
His wife driving a Lexus. He's driving a Tahoe.
Wow.
And he makes $65,000 a year.
That's crazy.
And he just changed.
Yeah.
Now this is somebody that I grew up with. This is my little brother.
Yeah.
And when I was in prison, I would call him every day. He would answer the phone for me all the time. We'd just sit back and talk.
Yeah.
And but just seeing him change and get out the street and do all that, that helped me a lot. You know what I mean? That if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like when I call him and tell him what's going on in my life. You see this big smile on his face because you know like he basically recruited me to do good. But
that's awesome.
And I look at it like that. If somebody can see this and be like, man, if he can do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I, you know, my story did good. It accomplished what it's supposed to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I was able to be a vessel for change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's a beautiful thing.
I don't mind doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's not something that I go seeking. Like I've never sought any kind of publicity.
Right.
It's always, but I don't turn it down when it get here because I know it serves a good purpose.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's all glory to God, you know.
Yeah. So I don't mind doing this type of stuff. So you thanking me, really I should be thanking you because it helps me do more.
I'm honored. I'm honored to have you on here and be able to share your story.
Well, I hope you had a good time with me.
Yeah, man, it was great. This is top 3 times in the barbershop, you know, like I was telling you, the other guy, my old barber back in Florida, he and I would chop it up like this. I mean, like on a regular, not recorded, and just have conversations about life, faith, and whatever. You know? And so I haven't had, you know, like some barbers like don't really care to have conversation. And
I go either. Like I said, I can go like when a person come in, they don't want to talk. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because my job basically is to cut hair. But if I can be of a sit or if I can talk, it makes the time go a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. It's like it's like it adds to the service. You know, when you're able to have a conversation like this.
It does. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was great. Ooh. I like that. Oh yeah. That looks sharp, bro.
Cool?
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
And then you got the big mirror in the back if you want to go ahead and get a wider look at it.
Oh yeah. Listen, I appreciate you taking the time and cutting the hair and all this stuff. It's a great conversation, and if the listeners want to follow you anywhere, is there anywhere they can follow your work and see what you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, William.Humbles. I'm on Facebook, just as William Humbles. That's usually my 2 platforms right there. That I'm on Snapchat, but I really just go on there just to watch my wife's videos.
Yeah.
And I got a Twitter page, but I don't tweet that much.
Right. Well, we'll make sure that we'll link all your information in the description of the podcast, and people can listen to it, support you, and you know, I don't know, just get to talk to you, maybe even that, you know. But thanks for sharing your story and doing the work that you do, because it's unique work, you know?
Yep, and there goes another satisfied customer.
Yes, he is. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show the world what it looks like.
Okay, this is what you do. You sit down in the chair. Have a seat in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you look at the camera, and then you go around in a circle, like that.
Yeah, there you go.
When you get towards the back, you bring your head down just a little bit, so you can see that. Bring your head back up a little bit.
There it is, world. That's the man. William Humble. William Humbles. William the Humbles on Instagram, everything else. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and until next time, keep living ardently. Peace.
Peace.